Stars are often regarded as a symbol of trust, spirit, and hope. But today is not the day for us to romanticize the meaning of stars. Instead, we shall discuss about the stars that hold the most significance in the hotel industry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afrinaa, and this is the hotel star rating system in a nutshell. Now, for most of us, we actually understand that the hotel star rating system ranges from 1 star to 5 stars, with greater number of stars indicating greater amount of luxury. But if you've been traveling to other countries, before this whole pandemic thing happened, you may or may not realize that, let's say, a 3-star hotel in one particular country is not of the same level as a 3-star hotel in another particular country. That is because there's actually no standardized universal guideline for the hotel star rating system. So things are very confusing. Meaning to say every country actually has their own minimum criteria for each star rating. So for the sake of this presentation, we will be focusing at Malaysia's guideline of minimum requirements for hotel star rating. So there's a total of 6 criteria in this guideline. Well, actually, in reality, there's actually a lot of questionnaires going on underneath each of the criteria, but we'll just go through the most essential details later on. Okay, so for this presentation, we will first briefly go through the general idea of hotel ratings, and then we'll go one by one with each of the star rating, 1 star to 5 stars, and then finally we'll summarize things up. So let us first get into the general idea of hotel ratings. Now, hotel ratings are used to classify hotels in terms of quality. Different rating systems are used by different organizations, so the definition of quality itself will actually be different in that sense. Now, the most commonly used rating system is the star rating system, which is the one that we'll be discussing later on. So the star rating system ranges from 1 star to 5 stars. The more star there is, the more luxurious things get. And they are rewarded by various organizations and agencies. In the case of Malaysia, they are rewarded by the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. But there's another type of hotel rating, which is called the diamond rating system. Now, diamond ratings are used by the American Automobile Association, AAA, for hotels in the US, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean. It also ranges from 1 diamond to 5 diamonds, but the main thing is that they are rewarded by an AAA inspector instead of other agencies. So now let's go to each of the star ratings. First off, we have the 1-star hotels. Now, 1-star hotels, they have no frills. And by frills, they mean that they don't offer much of the extra stuff. So they don't offer extra amenities or special services. But by being 1-star does not necessarily mean that the hotel is dirty, unkept, or in a bad location. It's just that they are simply a place for guests to sleep, and that's pretty much it. So in Australia, 1-star hotels are quoted as properties that offer budget facilities without compromising cleanliness or guest security. Now, what about in Malaysia? Now, in Malaysia, as I've mentioned earlier, we have a total of 6 main criteria. So for 1-star hotels, in terms of qualitative aesthetic requirement, the facilities should be in standard quality and well maintained. So the word here is standard. And then for the common areas, the reception should have seats for at least 2 people. So if you go to 1-star hotels and see that there's only 1 chair instead of 2, then show them this video because they're not fulfilling the minimum criteria for 1-star hotels. Now, it is not compulsory to have a bar, restaurant, banquet hall. I mean, if they want it to have, then that's okay, but they don't have to. And there should at least be 1 radio or TV in the common areas as entertainment, as well as fans for ventilation. In the case of bedroom, there should at least be 1 electric socket, fans for ventilation, and water dispenser is provided on each floor because they don't have to provide water kettle or drinking water in each room. At least a water dispenser on each floor is okay. As for services, the room service and laundry service are not compulsory to be provided. And then in terms of safety and hygiene requirement, they should provide torchlight at least in the event of power failure. So if there's a sudden blackout in a 1-star hotel, at least you have a torchlight. And then as for the staff, there should at least be a bilingual receptionist who is proficient in Bahasa Melayu and English. So examples of one-star hotels, here I've picked one example from Singapore. So one of the recommended one-star hotels in Singapore is the Red Doors Hostel at Kallang MRT. Apparently, most one-star and two-star hotels are called hostels there. But this hotel is located in a strategic location. It is near to an MRT station, which is the best kind of transportation when you're traveling in Singapore. It's located a few kilometers away from the Sultan Mosque or the Masjid Sultan, and there's a lot of other popular attractions nearby. So that is that. Meanwhile, for an example of one-star hotels in Malaysia is Hotel Al-Amin, or also known as W Hotel. Now, if you want to play tourists in KL for no reason, this is a good hotel because it is in a very strategic location. It is near the Dataran Merdeka or Merdeka Square, and it's near a KFC. It's literally beside a KFC, so that's a main reason to stay there. Next, we'll go to the two-star hotels. Now, two-star hotels are actually quite similar to one-star hotels, but there are a few upgrades here and there. It is typically more affordable than higher rated hotels, but still usually quite comfortable. In the Philippines, two-star hotels are said to appeal for tourists that are looking for more than basic accommodation. So one-star hotels are the bare minimum, while two-star hotels are the slightly upgraded version of one-star hotels. So according to Malaysia's criteria, there's not much of a difference there. There's few upgrades here and there. So in terms of qualitative and aesthetic requirement, it is instead of standard quality, it is now good quality and well maintained. For the common areas, the criteria is roughly the same as one-star hotels, so not much to highlight there. In case of bedroom, this is an upgrade. They should have an independent light for ceiling and bedside reading light. And then also water dispenser is still provided on each floor. Services, room service is not compulsory, but laundry service should be provided. And the same thing goes for safety and hygiene requirement as well as staff requirement, same as one-star hotels. Now, examples of two-star hotels I've included is Hotel Mido in Myeongdong, South Korea. It has received high ratings from its previous guests, and it is located in a very strategic location. Myeongdong is a very popular tourist attraction in South Korea. There's a lot of shops going on there, so that's really nice. And then as for a two-star hotel in Malaysia is the Creator Hotel in Kulai Johor. This hotel is very beautiful. It has a very minimalistic design to it, and you could say that if you're visiting Kulai or you're already in Kulai but you just want to run away from home, that's a good hotel to stay in. And now three-star hotels. Now three-star hotels are generally more stylish and comfortable than one-star and two-star hotels. They offer a wider range of services and amenities such as a pool, on-site restaurants, and conference rooms. And they're often geared toward business travelers. So in Australia, three-star hotels are quoted as properties that deliver a broad range of amenities that exceed above average accommodation needs. So as for Malaysia's guideline, you can see more differences and upgrades now compared to one-star and two-star hotels. So in the qualitative and aesthetic requirement, it is very good quality and well maintained instead of standard and good quality. In terms of common areas, there should be well-appointed reception hall or lounge, and then there should be suitable main entrance, and a restaurant serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There should be a bar. So we've come to the haram side of hotels now. There should be a bar wherever permissible by law. Meeting rooms as well as air conditioned. In the case of bedroom requirements, they should have luggage rack, fridge with local brand products, electronic door key system, air-conditioned room. Drinking water is provided in each room. It went from water dispenser on each floor instead of drinking water. Now you have drinking water in your room. For services, breakfast should be provided and room service should be provided as well. In terms of safety requirement and hygiene, there should be a standby generator to provide basic light and power. So you won't have a torchlight, but there's a standby generator at least. And then for the staff, the main staff, including the receptionist, the head waiters, housekeepers, should be proficient in English, as well as a language that corresponds to the predominant foreign clientele. Now, as for the examples, we have here the Zain Hotel in Bangkok, Thailand. Now, unfortunately, no, this was not founded by the One Direction member Zayn Malik, but this is a very interesting hotel because it is actually a Muslim-friendly hotel. Now, there's a restaurant that serves food that's not only halal, but tastes amazing as well. It's really, really nice. There's tom yum goong, there's mango sticky rice, there's ice cream, a lot of things going on there. And bonus points, the bellboy can speak Cantonese, as far as I remember. And now, coming from Malaysia, we have here a legendary hotel that seems a little too familiar for all of us, the IIUM content people. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Sri Manja Boutique Hotel. Now, despite the not so glamorous name, its strategic location and well-maintained room and services are the main factors that made it so popular. Now, I'm telling you, every time it's start roof week or when students are returning from their home to campus after a long break, this hotel takes it as a business opportunity. So they make more money thanks to IIUM. So yeah, it's a nice hotel, but I would personally appreciate if they could consider having a door lock system for their bathroom door, because that always gave me unnecessary anxiety. Now, moving on to 4-star hotels. Now, 4-star hotels are described as large, upscale establishments, fully staffed and complete with tons of extras. Now, the rooms are designed with premium furnishings and there are luxurious touches everywhere. There's lavish bedding, fine bath products and all those fancy stuffs. You realize that starting from this slide, there's a lot of fancy, expensive sounding vocabulary coming up. So, Australia quoted 4-star hotels as properties which achieve a deluxe guest experience. Now let's go to what Malaysia's minimum criteria have to say. So as you can see, this slide is getting lengthier and messier by now. So according to Malaysia, in terms of qualitative and aesthetic requirement, they should have excellent quality and it should be well maintained. So in terms of common areas, they should have well appointed and well decorated, spacious lobby or lounge. And then there should be a bar with the atmosphere of comfort. So the haram level gets to the comfort zone now. And then a restaurant with high standard of local decoration as well as good quality of F&B linen. And then they should have a swimming pool for both children and adults, as well as at least a gymnasium or a sauna. As from the bedroom requirements, they should have a satellite TV with a minimum of 4 channels. So that 4 channels is specific. They should have children programs, sports program, movie channels, as well as a minimum of 2 news channels. That's actually 5. But anyways, they should provide internet services as well as suite rooms should be available. And next, for safety and hygiene requirement, they should have standby generators sufficient for public room lights, as well as emergency lifts, if I'm not mistaken. So 3-star hotels have standby generator as well, but that is just for the basic lighting. But 4-star hotels should have a standby generator sufficient for the public room lights. And then the staff should be proficient in English and a language that corresponds to predominant foreign clientele as well. And a staff canteen should be provided. Now we'll go to the examples of 4-star hotels. So the first one here is the Tobu Hotel Levant Tokyo, which is located in Sumida City, Tokyo, Japan. Now this hotel is in a very strategic location. It is near to Kinshicho Station and there's a lot of shopping departments accumulated there. There's the Archakit shopping building nearby, which has a Daiso in it. Of course, we also have Daiso in ECM content. Now, the restaurant at this hotel is also really nice. For each type of food, there are indications on whether it contains meat, alcohol, and other ingredients. So that is very useful for us. So from Malaysia, we have here the Royal Shulan Penang. I hope I'm pronouncing Shulan correctly. It is a very beautiful hotel. It is located at a very strategic location in Georgetown, Penang, and received a lot of positive reviews from its previous guests. Next is 5-star hotels. Now, 5-star hotels are the most luxurious hotels in the world. They offer flawless guest services in a state-of-the-art facility. There's extravagant lobbies, spacious bedrooms, and they usually offer bellboy services, beauty salons, and limousine services. So 5-star hotels, according to the Philippines, is quoted as, it reflects the characteristics of luxury and sophistication. Facilities are deemed world-class in every manner, and services are deemed meticulous and exceeding all guest expectations. So what about Malaysia? Some of the criteria are actually quite similar to 4-star hotels, but there are upgrades here and there. So in terms of qualitative and aesthetic requirement, the quality now is the highest quality. In terms of common areas, they should have well-appointed and well-decorated spacious lobby with reading and writing area, and they should have an elegant, keyword there is elegant, bar with the atmosphere of comfort and luxury, specialty restaurants and private dining rooms, as well as F&B lining. In terms of bedroom, it is still the same. They should have at least a satellite TV with minimum of 4 channels, internet and suite rooms available. Now, as for services, the room service should be 24 hours, and then they should have, quoted here, quality crockery, cutlery and glassware to be used for their room services. And they should have a limousine service. Bellboys should accompany guests to their room. So that is that side of the world. So in terms of safety and hygiene, the same thing as 4-star hotels just now. And then the main staffs should be proficient in English and a language that corresponds to predominant foreign clientele. And also the staff canteen should be provided as well. Now, we go to the examples of 5-star hotels. I didn't want to go too extravagant with my selections because some 5-star hotels are simply, you felt like they only wanted to flex their luxury and gain fame instead of providing an actual place to stay for the guests. So I included a very familiar hotel that you would recognize if you've been to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. Now, this is the Majestic Hotel Saigon. Saigon is what Ho Chi Minh City is used to be called as. Now, this is a familiar hotel because it is located at a popular tourist place and because it stands out from the rest of the buildings, so you can easily spot it. It is near to the Ben Tan's Market, which is one of the places where you'd find Malaysian tourists shopping there. So some sellers can actually speak Malay because of that. And then we have our iconic 5-star hotel in Malaysia. This is the Lexus Hibiscus in Port Dickson, Negeri Sembilan. They are not lying when they call themselves Hibiscus because the hotel rooms are actually arranged in that particular manner, as you can see in that picture. Each of the rooms have their own private pools. So that's a cool thing. But is 5 stars really the limit to everything? There's this actually one particular hotel which was described as not 5, not 5.5, not even a 6, but as a 7-star hotel. And that hotel is the none other Burj Al Arab in Dubai. Now, this is the hotel that I would recommend to only the very selectively special, successful people, and that is Dr. Ashur, Dr. Saraya, and Dr. Zamzila, as well as the great medical students who have reached to this points of this presentation. Now, it is said that this hotel, the hotel rate sums up to an average of $24,000 per night, and that is roughly 102,300 ringgit, Malaysian ringgit. Wait, 102,300 ringgit, 300 Malaysian ringgit per night. I'm sorry, I'm not used to saying that much of a money. Oh, and if you're going to stay there, you don't have to bring along your own personal butler because they can actually provide you with a personal butler. So don't worry, unless you're the personal butler of the family. But actually, 7-star is not an official rating. This was actually just an overly exaggerated expression by a British journalist. Burj Al Arab is still a 5-star hotel, but the more premium side of a 5-star hotel. Now let's summarize. So basically, the minimum criteria for 1-star and 2-star hotels are roughly similar to each other, but again, the 2-star hotels are just the better version of 1-star hotels. 3-star hotels are the start-off points for premium hotels. So that is when more extras are adding up. 4-star hotels scream luxury, but not as loud as 5-star hotels. Guests of 5-star hotels will not have to lift a finger, except for when they have to hand over that platinum credit card of theirs. Now, one last thing before I sign off, I'd like to share something very interesting that the Malaysia's minimum criteria of hotel star rating has set. You see, there are actually some criteria that all 5 of the star-rated hotels in Malaysia need to follow. So it doesn't matter whether it's a 1-star hotel or 5-star hotels. These are the things that all of them must have, and that is: 1, a qiblat sign that is clearly displayed on the ceiling of every bedroom. 2, a water hose or water bidet spray, or even alternatives such as a ladle, for instance, must be available in the bathroom for the ease of ablution or wudu. And lastly, every hotel should provide at least one room for the disabled, or the OKU, or kleine upaya. Now, this particular room should have lower beds, lower tables, and there should be enough support or essential supports in the bathroom so that they could hold on onto that. And with that, that is the end of my part for this presentation, but not yet the end of this seminar. So please watch till the end whenever you're free to do so, because editing is tiring. And that is all from me. Enjoy your stay, and thank you so much.